What's cracking, everybody? I hope you're all having a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good night, depending on whatever time it is that you're watching this video. Today, I wanted to get into a story that has always bugged me. Whenever I think back at the situation that unfolded and the repercussions that came about because of the actions I took, or should I better say the actions that I didn't take, and how I was looked at for doing so. And before I start the story, I want to invite you all to take a few seconds and comment down under and let me know if I was wrong and what you would have done if you were in my shoes. So here it goes. Now this story, it took place in the summer of 2012. So I was cruising around the east side of San Jose with a good homie of mine who was driving his 90-something two-door Honda Civic. And I say the kind of car because it's an important detail for later on in the story. Not so much the model of the car, but the two-door part, you know? So we're cruising, and another homie of ours, he calls me, and he asks what we're doing, because he knew that we were always together. You know, saying he's with another homie of ours, and asked if we could pick him up. So obviously, we said, Simon, you know, for sure. We'll head out there, you know, in a little bit. So we were in the Palmas, or the KO Block neighborhood, and we had to drive out to San Antonio, where the homies were at, by El Grullo, you know, on the corner of San Antonio and King, I believe. So whatever, you know, we pick them up, and this is where you have to pay attention. It was a two-door car, and the homies we had just picked up, they got in the back seat. The homie G was driving, and I'm obviously in the passenger seat, so we're chilling. You know, we're not worried about anything because we're in the SPV territory, you know, Sur por Vida. But before we head out, we hit the liquor store across the corner from El Grullo. We get our drinks or whatever, and we set up a little plan, you know, to have some fun. So we make the plan to go hunt, you know, for some northerners. Nothing too crazy, obviously. No heaters, no tools, just some hands-on, you know, jumping. And we could obviously laugh about it after, you know. You guys know how it goes. So before we hit the nearest norteño neighborhood to San Antonio, in my opinion, you know, CPL, or Capitol Park Locals, on the corner of Jackson and San Antonio, we spot some vato in a black Cincinnati Reds hat, you know, with the red C. That's a CPL hat, obviously, you know, in the SPV neighborhood. Well, one of the homies we had picked up was from SPV. He obviously took offense to it and wanted to pull up on him. And obviously, we all agreed. Keep in mind, you can spot a gangbanger from a couple blocks away. You know, it's like we got like some type of built-in Zoom option, whatever, when it comes to this gang stuff. You know, just like we could spot some Cortezes from, you know, a couple blocks away, you know. So we spot this dude, you know, from maybe a block and a half away, and we creep up. As we pull up on him, though, we spot a little girl. She's standing next to him holding his hand. I'm guessing, you know, his daughter. And he knew as soon as he saw us what time it was because his eyes popped out of his face. You know, he picked up the little girl and he started holding her, looking at me with the face of like, as to say, you know, like, don't bust at me, I'm carrying a little girl. Or so I thought, at least. So the plan was, I was going to hit him up from the car, ask him, hey, have you seen any busters around here? And no matter his response, I was going to hop out and take flight. And the rest of the homies would follow. Except the homie driving, obviously. Only now there's a little girl involved. She had to be maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 at best. So as soon as we pull up on him, I froze. I stayed quiet. And the homie from SPV, he notices and he asks him where he's from. Because obviously he knew that I wasn't going to do it. But the norteño, instead of diffusing the situation, having a little girl, which I know now he wasn't carrying the little girl to protect her. He picked her up to protect himself like a coward. So as soon as the homie hits him up, the norteño, he throws up the C and the P with his right hand while carrying the little girl in his left arm. As soon as he does that, you would think it's okay, to do what I got to do. It's go time. The homies in the back, they were saying, bájate, get off, hop out. And so we started arguing in front of the norteño. I said, well, like, there's a little girl. Like, what are you fools thinking? And they're mad, especially the homie from SPV, because this is his barrio. He's supposed to do that. So fast forward, nothing happens, obviously. We pull off. It's a quiet ride until we get to Valley Palms, VSM neighborhood, Barrio Sureños Malditos. We all get off the car, and we continue to argue. And I head off, towards the basketball court because nothing happened. It was just an argument. It wasn't really nobody was really pressing nobody. It was just an argument, a simple argument. So, like I said, I push off. They all went to another group of homies. I went towards the basketball court to say what's up, to the homies on that side. And as you guys all know, whenever you go to somebody's hood, there's always little cliques of, homies on one side, another clique on the other side. That's just how it goes. So we all separate for a few minutes, and we regroup after maybe like 15-20 minutes with everyone. Everybody got together basically. And as I'm walking up, the homie G that was driving, he walks over to me and he says, hey, he says the name of the homie from SPV. He says, hey, he's talking masa about you. The homie's saying that you didn't hop out, and he's letting all the homies know. So obviously, I took it. I didn't take that lightly, so I pushed up, and I let him know if there's an issue, press it. Only he said it was all good. He was like, nah, it's just, he basically gave me the runaround, telling me that he just didn't agree with what I did, but it wasn't that serious, right? So whatever, he pushes off. It's all good, and that was the end of it until maybe, a few weeks after I felt the repercussions of that action that I did, but whatever, it is what it is. So now I want you guys to let me know, was I wrong for having a conscience and not doing anything because of the little girl? Or do you guys think that I should have done what I had to do once that vato threw up his barrio at me? I really want to know. It's always bugged me, that those homies looked at me a certain way after that situation. But, like I said, what would you guys have done? Should I have hopped out as soon as he threw up his neighborhood at me? Because, you would think as soon as he did that, he's giving us the green light to take flight, even though there's a little girl. Because if he doesn't care about his little girl, why should we? But at the same time, who am I to take that action and traumatize that little girl because of his dad's actions, or her dad's actions, or whoever that was, her brother, her uncle, her dad, whatever it was, So, with that being said, that's the story for today. Like I said, I do want to know in the comment section though. Let me know, what time it is. Was I a sucker for not hopping out, or was I right for not hopping out? Regardless, though, it is what it is. I can't change what happened. I can't go back in time and do what I had to do, and I can't say I regret it, to be completely honest with you guys. But it has always bugged me. So, like I said, with that being said, I appreciate you guys' time. I hope you guys like the video, and if you did, drop a thumbs up. If not, hit the thumbs down. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'm out. Gracias.